Hey everybody, it's Dr. Levi and welcome to our show. Today is November 23rd, 2016. Beautiful here in Los Angeles, so I hope and believe wherever you are, you're making it a great day. This is a big travel day for a lot of people. Tomorrow, of course, Turkey Day for some people, Tofurkey Day for other people, Vegan Day for others. For myself, it's a day of really rest and relaxation. So I hope wherever you're going, you make it to your destination safely. I want to thank you again for joining us. When it comes to Thanksgiving, this time of the year is really about forgiveness. It's really about embracing your best you. And for me personally, it's about my two favorite words in the entire lexicon, and that is gratitude and intention. And I think with those two words, when you're really in a place of ever-expanding gratitude, really grateful for your life, grateful for your health, grateful for your family, grateful for the fact that you can walk and talk, that you have a job, grateful that you have a home or an apartment or a car, I think the more we're grateful for, I think it opens the doors for the universe to give us even more. Not to simply consume, but gives us more so we can give it away. Because don't forget, you only get what you're willing to give away. So why not give away more love? Why not give away more forgiveness? Why not give away more money? If you really want a lot of money, trust me, give it away. When you give it away, you will have more money coming your way than you can shake a stick at. So it's so important that you're never stuck in that place of thinking that the world is about less than. The world is about going from paycheck to paycheck. Really, our lives are about living prosperously. Our lives are about embracing the reality that everything that we want or can imagine is ours. We simply have to believe, number one, that we're worthy, and number two, that the universe will provide it. And when I use that statement, the universe, that is God, how you define it. For some people, it may be Jesus. For others, it may be Buddhist. For others, it may be Muhammad. For others, it may be Krishna. Whatever that is for you, it works for you. Because we all have our personal, religious, spiritual, and metaphysical beliefs. So mine should not ever impinge upon your beliefs. We're really here to work together in this wonderful sea of humanity to make life good, not just simply for ourselves, but for other people. And that's why I think today, I'm hoping that we can really embrace the essence of gratitude as well as intention, because it's really about reflection. Let me tell you how I think about gratitude. I think about it like this. I love myself, and I'm grateful to say that, and I hope you love yourself. Now, when I see someone else, I love them. They don't have to do anything for me. They don't have to say anything to me. Just by their presence, I want to honor their presence and love them. Why? Because everybody that I see is a reflection of who I am. Doesn't matter their race, their creed, their color, their sex, their sexuality, their gender identity, their political views, their socioeconomic status. None of that means anything. What is important is that when I see someone, it's another human being. And I know by definition that they have worth, that they're important, and that they have a certain purpose here in the universe to fulfill that's unlike mine. Because we're all here for a very unique and very specific purpose. And I believe, above all, here for humanity, I believe our highest order is service, is what can we give back? Not what can I take, not what can I hang on to. My grandmother used to always say, Levi, I love the fact that you give so much. She'd always say that your hand is always open. And she said, because your hand is open, things go out, and also gives you a hand to have things come in. And I've always loved that because I think when we hold on to things, it tells us that we believe that the world is filled with lack and not enough of. However, when you have open arms, wide open arms, big open heart, I think then the universe can defiantly say, yes, you believe, yes, you should get this, yes, you should get more, and yes, your life will be expanding to greater worth, happiness, joy, peace, and magnificence. That's what I believe. However, the question more importantly is, what do you believe? That's the ticket. So this Thanksgiving, I'm hoping that you really embrace that feeling of knowingness, that the universe is conspiring for your greater good, that all that you're doing will not be put in the background, that everything that you're doing, all the good, it will be known. People will know, and they will appreciate you. And remember, appreciation, that's another funny word, I think, because so often many of us are conditioned to think that appreciation means someone has to tell you, thank you, great job, or put you on a pedestal. As I've said many times here on the show, it's important that we do the right thing even when no one is looking. That's the power of life. Not simply waiting for the appreciation or the thanks or the good job or to put you on a platform and say, wow, you really did that. That's great. You're wonderful. You're awesome. It's really about allowing us to decompress our egos and know that as you minimize the ego, you increase your self-worth. As you minimize the ego, you increase your appreciation for other people. And we do that by just simply knowing that everybody that we see, again, self-reflection, is a reflection of who we are. And remember, life is very, very temporary. Here today, gone tomorrow. So it's important that we love today. It's important that we forgive today. It's important that you tell someone, I really appreciate you. Thank you for what you're doing for me. Thank you for what you did for my family, for my friends. Because guess what? Tomorrow, as I've talked before, that poem by Countee Cullen, at the end of the poem, it says, one day we'll meet for the very last time, but we will not know it. I've always thought the power of that reminds us that when we meet someone, really embrace them with love, really embrace them with authentic truth, and with the knowingness that when we see them, they're exactly like we are. That's the bottom line. And I want to thank you all for joining us on our social media platforms, for subscribing, for liking us and following us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Twitch TV. Twitch TV is going really, really well. It's every Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a great opportunity to interact with gamers and people from all over the world, from Pakistan to India to the UK to Canada to New Zealand to New Guinea. It's really a phenomenal show. So I want to thank you for being a part of that. And the other thing I want to share with you is that on December 1st, I'll be co-hosting an event with Vinicius Machado for the hashtag Stop Bullying Now. And the great thing about that is it reminds us that when it comes to bullying can happen to adults in the workplace. It can happen in the schools to our children, of course, and it can even happen in our families. So as I've said, also, bullying comes in three forms. There's the bully, there's the bullied, and there's the bystander. I hope you're none of those three. It's important that if you see bullying occurring, that you stop it, that you talk to someone, that you intervene. And if you are the bully, I hope that you can understand that bullying doesn't help anyone, not even you, so to stop it. And if you're being bullied, I want to remind you that your self-worth has to dictate to you that you're worth more than that people only allow us to be treated the way they want us to if we allow that, meaning people only treat us the way we allow them to. So if someone's not treating you lovingly, if someone's not treating you kindly, if someone's not treating you like the good friend that you are, quickly love them from a distance, forgive them from a distance. Don't say anything negative about them, don't talk badly about them. The universe sees it all. Simply love them. Love is critical. I think it's my third favorite word in the lexicon. But gratitude and intention, they top it all off. And I want to remind everyone also that I'll be doing the Spartan Race on December 10th. I'll be running for lymphoma and leukemia cancer foundations, and we're raising money. My gym, the Phoenix Effect Gym here in Hollywood, where our goal is to raise $100,000. Right now, we're at about $60,000, which is great. So please go to my Facebook page. If you can donate only $5, I shouldn't say only. If you can donate $5, $10, $20, $1,000, whatever, I really appreciate it. My personal goal is to raise $5,000. So I believe that that's going to happen. So I need your help, though. So I'd appreciate if you do go to our site and donate. The other thing I want to share with you, too, is that I'll have toy boxes at my office in Glendale. The address there is 1560 East Chevy Chase, Suite 350, Glendale, California, 91206. We'll have toy boxes there for Wish Upon a Toy Foundation as well as for the Toys for Tots. So if you can, we'd appreciate your donations there because we want to make as many kids happy as possible. Why? Because they're not simply, we often hear kids are our future. They're much more than that. They're a legacy of the seeds that we plant. They sprout and branch into the trees that we are. So if we fertilize them and water them well, then they grow up to be healthy, wonderful, giving, loving, humanitarian, philanthropic individuals. However, if you don't water them, if you don't spend time with them, if you don't love them, if you don't show them by your actions how to live, then often our children are taught by their peers. And sometimes that's not the best teaching. Sometimes it's not. So we have to be aware of that, of course. Well, we have a great show for you today. Someone that I wanted to meet, and I feel fortunate that he has taken the time to come on the show to talk about his foundation, to talk about why he does what he does, and more importantly, I want you to hear his story. The story, I think, is so extraordinarily compelling. It's a real tearjerker, and for me, very heartwarming to know that someone can be inspired to do so much more by personal tragedy. And, I always feel that I think I'm going to write about this one day. I think the heavier the heart, the more love there is to give. I think when we go through an experience, because life is experiential, I think when we experience incredible loss and that depth is so profound, then it gives us a chance to turn that pain into love, into truth, into goodness, into caring for other people. With the recent loss of my assistant Rita, whom I loved so much, someone asked me the other day. She said to me, "Are you still feeling badly about Rita?" I said, "Well, yes, I am. I'm feeling real badly about it." And she said, "Why?" I said, "Well, because I believe that when we have a profound investment in other people, then when they're gone, that profound loss also occurs." I think it's very synergistic. The more you love someone, the more you miss them. The more we have someone in our lives, the more we miss them when they're not there. And in Rita, I miss her so much. Yep. So I want to tell you about our wonderful show today with a guy that I met earlier here. And I got to tell you something interesting. When I walked into the green room this morning to meet him, and his wonderful, beautiful wife was with him also, Cassie. When I walked in, I could simply feel from him this essence of how can I make a difference, of how can I be of service. Very gentle spirit, very kind. I wish you could feel what I feel here in the studio, because I'm always at 170 degrees, pushing forward, 170 miles an hour, I want to say. When I walked in, I met him and his wife, I went from 170 to about 5. Which was really, really nice. So I want to welcome Ryan to the show. How are you doing, Ryan Russek?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here. Let's talk about your organization and your foundation, and then I want you to really share with our audience how this came about.
Yeah, definitely. So we're Wish Upon a Toy.
Yes.
We collect toys for children and families in need at the City of Hope Cancer Hospital over in Duarte, which is just a little east of here.
Yes.
Yeah, so we started back in 2004. My dad was a patient of City of Hope. He was diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma,
yes,
which is a terminal form of kidney cancer. The doctors told him he may only have a few months. So we went to City of Hope to start doing some really aggressive treatments with
yes,
their doctors there. It's a world-class facility that I truly hope no one ever actually has to go to and experience.
Absolutely.
But through those months in 2004, I was there with my dad, and I started seeing these children walking through the halls, and it never really clicked to me that cancer affects everybody.
Yes, it does.
I kind of just think of it more as a adult thing that you have to go through. But I started seeing these kids, and they were battling cancer,
yes,
and I could see what it was doing to my dad,
right,
someone that I've always looked up to as a strong, pillar in my life,
right,
and it was taking its toll on him. And so I knew how difficult it was for these kids, and I actually got a lot of inspiration from them that these children, in some cases, are stronger than me, and battling through all this stuff.
Yes.
And while Christmas was approaching, the realization sank in that for my dad, there was a high likelihood that was going to be my last Christmas with him.
Yes.
And if that was true for him, it was probably also true for some of these children.
Absolutely.
And they were going to have their last Christmas inside of a hospital,
yes,
and sick.
Yes.
Which is just, kind of
morbid.
And the complete opposite of what you want to do when you're a kid. You want to go outside and play with your toys.
Right.
So I thought, if it's going to be potentially their last Christmas, I want to do everything I personally can to make it their best one. So I went and took the money that I had. I was in college. I'm not talking about $1,000 here. I mean,
Right.
it's a few $100 that I had. I took it all and I went out and bought gifts for the kids at the hospital.
That's
And
fantastic.
it was really awesome. The hospital, they didn't release any personal information, but they were able to tell me how many children they had and ages and genders, so I could go buy gifts for them. So I wrapped them all up, and I said that they were from Santa.
Right.
And I asked my dad if he would go with me. He said sure. So we went, dropped them off. It was
This is when he was still ill.
yeah,
Wow.
in 2004. It was a awesome experience to have Christmas with my family in the morning, and then just right after go provide Christmas for these kids. And when we left, we both kind of looked at each other, and it was almost without saying that we knew what we were thinking, that
Right.
that we want to do this again. So my dad said, we should show up next year, and we'll do the same thing. So that was the plan.
Right.
2005 came, Christmas was approaching. I went out, did the same thing, took all my money, bought the gifts, wrapped them from Santa. They were ready to go. But that Christmas morning of 2005, my dad passed away from his battle with cancer before we could deliver the toys.
Wow.
And it was incredibly challenging, as anyone listening
Of course.
may know if they lost somebody. So I was going through all those emotions, and my family thankfully was there. And sometime in the early afternoon, I had noticed that the toys were still there.
Right.
And they were never delivered. And
That was the Christmas day that your father passed.
yeah. And my dad just had passed hours before, so now it is even much more real that there is a chance that the same thing can be true for a kid there.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to make sure to get those gifts to them before anything happened.
Right.
So my mom went with me, and we were delivering the toys. And
I tell you, when you talk like that, in my mind as you're talking, I'm thinking, what extraordinary strength of character for you and your mother and your family, and such extraordinary humility to go outside of yourself with the passing of your father that day, and to still have the strength and the vision of not about self-care, but about how can I care for other people. This is one of the most impactful statements I've heard in a very long time. It's very intense.
Yeah, and I mean, I was able to do it because of my family being there, and my faith and hope that anything can happen to somehow make this whole situation better.
Right.
So I showed up with her, and we were walking around past the rooms and dropping off the toys, and the children are there with their families.
Yes.
And the kids started getting excited because there was toys from Santa.
Right.
And I was looking at some of the parents, and I could see just their face and their energy. I knew the pain and the struggle they were going through. I'd experienced it for the last year. I just lost my dad hours before, so it was very real to me. And I could just see that everything just changed in that moment. And for a moment, the child was excited.
Exactly.
And
pain-free.
Yeah,
For that
exactly.
that snapshot in time.
Exactly.
Right.
And for that moment, the parents were able to see their kids happy again.
Right.
So they were able to forget for a
For
few
a few
minutes.
seconds, yes.
That a lot of things were going on. So then I saw that for a moment it was no longer a toy or a Tonka truck or a Barbie doll or whatever it was. For a moment it was hope.
Right.
And it was hope that something was going to get better. It was hope that there's people out there in the world that don't even know you, that are rooting for you.
That are good.
And they were trying to show love, like you spoke about earlier, to others.
Right.
And it was incredibly impactful to me in my life. And it was in that moment that I realized that this wasn't going to just be something that I did with my dad and just for that Christmas, but I need to do it every Christmas from here on out.
Right.
It needs to get bigger and better. And I didn't really know how I could do that. I was, again, just in college with only a few $100.
Right.
So I thought, for the next year, I'm going to make it a toy drive.
Right.
And I'm going to reach out to my church and see if some people will donate toys. And that's kind of where Wish Upon a Toy came from, and starting from scratch with that.
You know what I find so amazing, in talking to you and hearing you talk about this with such passion, it reminds me to give more and to be involved more. And as involved as I think I am, I'm always thinking now, especially after hearing you, that what more can I do? How can I be of greater outreach?
Mm-hmm.
How can I be a nidus of change? The other thing that I want to touch upon that you said that was so powerful also is this issue of giving back to these families who don't know you, but you're doing that giving unconditionally,
mm-hmm.
without the need for even a thank you, or because all the toys coming from Santa, not from you.
Yeah.
So not even expecting a thank you or a great job, but just to do it because you want to spark hope,
mm-hmm.
and give
mm-hmm.
them a chance to really be out of the doom and gloom of my child has cancer, the horrible loss, the child before the parent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just great work.
Yeah, and it actually it's helped a lot of people. I mean, obviously there's the people in the hospital that are benefiting from it, but it's helped my family cope with a tragedy like that. It's helped friends see things in a different perspective, like you were saying. It's helped the people working at the hospital. I've had multiple things happen over the last 10 years or so that we've been doing it, but there was a time where I dropped off the gifts, and I was walking back to my car, and I actually was chased down by one of the nurses who was crying and gave me a hug and thanked me for showing up and doing that for one of her patients, and how unfortunately one of them had passed away early in the morning, and the whole staff there was very
emotional,
shaken by that, and it just lifted everyone's spirits. So it does even go past those patients that morning, and we've expanded since then to even make it a bigger thing than just Christmas morning. Right.
The thing about the impact of what you're doing is, it's not simply the toy. The toy is just the nidus, but it's the change in the energy of and the aspiration of the people that are there. Not only the ones who are receiving the gifts and the parents who see it, but like you said, all the staff that see that, this whole family and community of humanity comes together like, wow, this is good.
Yeah.
It makes them feel good to see you make other people feel good.
Yeah.
So it's good begets more good, begets more good.
Yeah.
It's a great story. You should really consider writing about this, either a blog, because it will really, as you're talking about it and as I'm listening, internally, I'm going through an emotional transformation and transmutation, because I'm really thinking, okay, Levi, you hear from this great man. What can you do? What can you do to do it, to do more?
Yeah, and that's kind of touch on doing more. That's been part of the amazing response and blessing of every single year and how we've grown. That first year with my church, I thought, if I could get like 20 toys, that would be amazing, because I can then take my few $100 and we can multiply that, and every kid could get a couple toys.
Right.
And the response just from my church was overwhelming. There was a couple hundred toys. Fantastic. And we were able to give multiple toys to all the kids and put some in their toy closet so they can replenish throughout the year.
Right.
And it was really awesome. And then every year since then, we've continued to grow. And many years back, it got to a point where it was very obvious that we had too many toys for just Christmas morning.
Right.
And the hospital and myself, we kind of came up with this idea to also have another event 1 week before Christmas for the adult patients.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and it's actually, I know probably your listeners may be thinking, like, why would an adult patient want a toy?
I like toys.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I like toys.
Yeah, so I was like, explain to me, why should we do this? And and the hospital brought up the good point that, again, I'd never thought of, that there's a lot of adult patients that are there battling cancer, and because of their condition, they can't leave the hospital.
Right.
They can't leave the safety of those machines, and their immune systems are low.
Right.
So they can't go buy gifts.
That's true.
And then the ones that can, or if they have loved ones that could do it in their place, they may not have the money
to do it
because the medical bills are so expensive. So now they're left with potentially not having a Christmas for their children or grandchildren or whoever. And it's then it becomes a double-edged sword almost. The child is having to spend Christmas at the hospital with their loved one, or seeing their loved one go through all that stuff. And then on top of it, they may not even have a gift.
Right.
So it really is, it's very difficult to go through that.
Right. And then when you talk about it, it has to be very sobering to know that you literally can walk into a hospital and know that that person you see today may not be there tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Or later the same day.
Exactly. And so that's why we wanted to help everyone at the hospital.
Right.
So we did that. So we created many years ago a pop-up toy shop at the hospital that is a 1 week before Christmas.
And who staffs that? It's staffed by volunteers?
Volunteers.
Fantastic.
And the nurses in the hospital, they bring the patients through.
Great.
But the volunteers staff the toy drive, or the toy shop. And
they will wrap the gifts also?
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
really awesome. So you go through as a patient, you pick toys for everybody. It's all free.
Right.
And then afterwards you come out and a whole bunch of volunteers will wrap it and put bows on it, write cards for you.
That's great.
And it's really awesome because the patients also get to be in community for a little bit with some people.
Right.
Some of our volunteers actually were patients there in the past. They got healthy and they returned.
That's nice.
And it brings a lot of hope to someone battling, where you see someone healthy in front of you and you think, this could be me.
I can come back.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's a really great experience. And then for the patients that can't even leave the safety of their room, we bring a mobile version of that toy shop to them. We suit up in all the gear and go in, and they pick out their toys. We wrap them right there in their room. And then that way, when their children or grandchildren, nieces or nephews, when they show up on Christmas, they'll have a gift.
Absolutely.
And there'll be some sort of normalcy back to Christmas. And the person giving the gift gets the pleasure of saying, I know I hand-selected that gift for the person.
Exactly.
So
it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. It's really great how it's expanded over the years.
It's really just phenomenal. I want to know, what about your mom? What does she think about this now, seeing as this has grown from the loss of her wonderful husband, your father, to now this extraordinary charity about making people feel good and have hope, when it was born out of the loss that he's not here anymore?
Yeah. She loves it. I mean, she's like the perfect mom, the perfect stereotypical mom, like loves her children, is always excited for anything they're doing. So she's always the biggest cheerleader possible. She will tell anybody about it. She'll be in the grocery store, and if she figures out a way to mention it,
she'll bring it up.
She mentions it. So she's great. I know it's helped her. It's helped other members of my family see that out of any tragedy, there could be something good that comes from it. And a lot of times you'll struggle when you go through something like that as to why did it happen, or why did something bad happen to someone good. And we started thinking maybe this is one of the reasons. So out of something bad, out of the loss of my dad, potentially thousands more can benefit.
And also, if being the founder of an organization like this, a charity, it also helps you with your healing,
Absolutely.
Because the more you're giving, the more it takes you out of the grief, even though the grief never completely goes away. When people say we lose people, you get over it. We don't get over it. We accept it.
Exactly.
We can't stop death.
Yeah.
But we don't get over it.
Yeah. And it's a great way to go through things like that. If you are grieving or anything like that, like you said, the giving back, it helps. It really does. And on a day that would traditionally be a sad day, the passing, the anniversary of the passing of my dad, it becomes very much focused on other positive things, and it helps you get through the day.
Right.
Definitely.
It's very, very powerful. And what about your wife? How does she feel about this? Because you give a lot of energy to this.
Oh yeah, a lot of energy. She's been very understanding and a huge supporter. She helps as well. We do collection events, and she does that. And she's really great with networking. And so she will always try to connect with people.
Right.
And she does some of our social media and things like that. So she's definitely putting in her time as well.
And what about your neighbors in your community? Because everyone has to know that you do this now.
Yeah, I mean, there's still some people. It's one of those things where it's such a part of my life that I forget that there's people that don't know about it.
Right.
So there are still some that don't, but for my family, the community, everyone that knows about it, they know it's coming, and okay, let's donate again. And there's a lot of ways to donate. And they donate toys. They donate on our website. You can donate.
And
through
what
PayPal.
is the website too?
It's wishuponatoy.com.
Okay, so that's WISHUPONATOY.com.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And you can go there. You can look at slideshows of past events. There's a cool little 5-minute video, kind of talks about what we were just talking about. And you can see some of our partnerships that we're doing. You can donate there. Everything that you need to know
is there. Now, do you have Instagram and all those other ones?
We
Twitter?
do. Yep. Facebook and Instagram. It's at Wish Upon a Toy.
Fantastic.
So you can follow us there as well. And we'll always try to do updates about what we're doing and where you can meet us to donate a toy and things like that.
And what about this, Ryan? Do you have any upcoming events that we can share with our audience?
Yeah, we do. Actually, this Saturday, the day after Black Friday.
And what date is that?
That is November 26th. November
26th.
26th, we'll be outside of the Target in Duarte with AMR Ambulance Company. We started this great partnership last year where we do this Fill the Ambulance event. And
that's pretty nice.
It's really cool. AMR comes out with their ambulances and their paramedics volunteer. And
that's great.
They're there, getting people really encouraged and excited about donating. And Target is an awesome company that lets us participate with that. So people go in, they go shopping for their family. They come out with a toy also for a kid. And we fill the ambulances. And it's been really successful. So we have that going on November 26th, this Saturday, just a few days from now. Again,
and what time is that? That's from
That's going to be from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So pretty much
the whole day.
Pretty much all day, yeah.
Wow.
And then same exact location again and the same time, but on December 10th, which is, I believe, 2 Saturdays
from
later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We'll be out there again, and it's at a Target in Duarte. We're going to have this fun night on December 8th at this place called DBA in Pomona.
Okay.
And it's going to be kind of like music and fun. And you show up, you can drop off a toy there as well.
Wow.
And then we have a lot of places that are independent drop-off zones. So, some local high schools and some businesses that have holiday parties, and they're kind of attaching the toy drive to their holiday party.
That's a good thing.
It's not so much a public drop-off spot, but more from their employees.
Absolutely. Well, we'll definitely have a box in my office.
Oh, yeah, that'll be great.
And trust me, that's going to get filled up so quickly. You may want to give us 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That'll be
easily.
Awesome.
I'm telling you, it will be like that. My patients are so extraordinarily giving and wonderful, So when they see it, like last year we had the one for the Marines, Toys for Tots, within I think like a week.
Yeah.
Just overflowing stuff all over the office.
We've been doing this for over a decade now, and last year it just became clear I really want to get this bigger and better, and I want to get more sponsorships and be on shows like this.
Right.
And that was only going to be possible if I became a nonprofit.
Correct.
And so I went through all the legal paperwork and the fees and filing and became a nonprofit organization last year. I was featured in Fortune magazine, on the radio, and that's when we got some of those great partnerships.
Of course.
And I just wanted to tell everybody that's listening that while we are a nonprofit, it is all 100% ran by volunteers. I have a normal 9-to-5 job. My wife does. Everyone does. So the toys that you donate or the money that you donate, they truly go to the cause. No one is getting a paycheck or anything like that. It's either getting toys or it's getting the gift wrap to wrap them or any of the supplies we need.
No, I think it's real clear, with all the research we did about your toys, Wish Upon a Toy, it's real clear that it is all on board. Mm-hmm. Everything is real. It's authentic. It's about giving. It's about really unconditional giving. Mm-hmm. And what the other thing that I think as we're talking about this, is it's real clear to me that when you're involved with an organization like yours, it takes you out of yourself about what can I just get for me. It really gets us into the mode of thinking. We really are all interconnected.
Yeah.
Like you and I and Janet and Jarvis, as we sit here together, we really have that string of humanity that binds us all together. And if I give to you, I give to her.
Yeah.
If I give to him, he gives to you.
Absolutely.
And I think that makes us really be in the essence of what it is to be a human being who gives.
Yeah.
You know? And to do it unconditionally and lovingly, and to want to do more of it.
Yeah.
And that's what I get from you. I love this fact that you said, well, I want to make it bigger. Dr. Levi, I want to make it bigger. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to make it, I think that's the way the universe gives us more.
Yeah.
When we don't say, I just want this for myself.
Yeah.
I want this for everybody.
Yeah. And I mean, you were talking about that in the open of the show, and all those points that you made were so true on every degree of giving and how much more you receive.
Absolutely.
And that's what so right now we do the City of Hope as a main premier event, but our goal is to expand and to get bigger, and we would love to go to other children's hospitals in Southern California or other organizations and be that beacon of hope for people all over Southern California, and not just in that one hospital. Right now it is just the one hospital, but it'll
be more. It's the first beacon. It's the lighthouse.
Exactly.
But that light is going to shine on many other people. As you were talking, I was thinking it would be great to have a program like this at Shriners Hospital, at CHOC, Children's Hospital of OC, Orange County, here in Los Angeles, Children's Hospital. I think the breadth of what you can do is unlimitable. I think you're only limited by your imagination, and I think your imagination is pretty infinite. So I believe that what you're doing has such great power and gravitas that it can only help people, and families.
Yeah,
it's just really phenomenal what you're doing.
Thank you. It's definitely not just it's me. I may have been the person that kind of came up with it all, but it's only possible because of the blessings given by all the people across Southern California and people that I don't even know, and on social media, and it's only truly possible. And at the hospital, sometimes I'll have that on the event day with the adult patients, and they'll come through and they want to shake my hand or give me a hug and thank me, and I make it very clear, hey, I'm just dropping off the toys for you. Right. I kind of came up with the idea, but I surely could not afford to buy all these toys. I mean, this was because a lot of people came together and thought of others before themselves.
But the other thing too is that yes, they thought of others before themselves, but you were the one that planted the seed of, hey, I have an organization that will go out and be Santa's helper. I will go out and share the love, or more importantly, as you said, I will go out and bring the hope. It's just impactful. That's the only word I can think of for you, man. Impactful.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's very kind words. But I think that I've just attached myself. You were talking earlier about the words that you've attached yourself with love and everything, and those are the same. Pretty much everything you said is literally what I've always thought. You were talking. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Really?
But oh gosh, thanks. I'm like checking every box. Like, oh my god, everything I ever talked about. But
thanks a lot. Right?
Yeah, but I've always attached myself to love, and it can conquer anything. Absolutely anything, and hope. Right. If you don't have hope, it's very difficult to make it through anything, even the slightest struggles, if it's at work with a coworker or anything.
Absolutely.
You always need hope, and so those two things are kind of what I've always looked to.
I think it's not only looked to, but you actually live it. Because it's one thing for people to talk about. We live in L.A. where people do a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And talking is easy, but it's our actions that prove the worth and depth of our character. And for you, it's quite clear that you're a man of extraordinarily depth of character, and also someone who really lives the message of giving, of hope, of truth and honesty. When you resonate that vibration, we can feel it here. We literally feel it, right? And Janet, do you feel it? I mean, it's real. I mean, it's Jarvis, you feel it? I mean, it's such a sense of goodness, So I really, it feels good to start off Thanksgiving holiday with having you as a guest, because it just makes me think, okay, Levi, you got to get out there, dude. You got to go and make a difference, like Ryan Russek is, and you're doing that.
Thank you. You're starting to get me emotional. So
But it's making me emotional, though. That's why I had to hold back, because I think people like you remind us all how to be better human beings, how to really love more, how to give more, how to forgive more profoundly, and how to take the devastating loss of our father. That's a tie that we can't get back once he or she is gone. To take that loss and then to transmute that into an organization that's about hope, about love, about giving, about joy, about truth, about children. I admire you so very, very much, and I think it's individuals like you who really remind us that you are a light of hope, that you are someone that can remind us all to be more and to really to do more in a non-self-serving way. Because everything you've said today has not been about you, Ryan Russek, not been about Dodger Russek, or about your beautiful wife Casey. It's been about Cassie. It's been about you saying, I want to expand more, to give more, to do more, to be more, without even getting paid for it.
Yeah.
How could the universe not bless you?
Yeah.
Because to bless you is for it to bless itself, and to bless itself is to bless other people through you.
Yeah.
You're the vehicle of change. You're the vehicle of motivational hope and love and truth. So we need more people like you. I need you. Janet and Jarvis, we all need people like you for us to really bring out our humanity and to shine like you, because we want to get to where you are.
That's very kind. It's definitely there's been so many times where the blessings have come in where there's sometimes I think it's just probably human nature. Maybe it affects me more, but there's definitely been times over the years where there's been an obstacle or something came up, and I immediately think, oh no, what's going to happen? We're not going to have the toys. It's not going to be as good as it was last year, and I start to worry, and I think it's my natural thing. I worry about stuff,
yes.
And then, sure enough, just as the
door will open.
Yeah. Sure enough, it always does, and something happens, and all of a sudden, it's just like boom, here it all is, and then when it happens, it comes back with even
more.
Exactly, even more than what I was hoping for, and so I've tried to remind myself that it's all going to work out,
right? And
I've doubted it in the past, but it continues to go. So
as you said that, it made me think something I'll share with you that my mother and my grandmother would always say. My mother's still living, my grandmother's passed, but she would always tell me, if I would come in and say, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, she would say, well, Levi, she said, as I've told you many times before, to worry is to say that God is not able,
mm-hmm.
and God is very able.
Mm-hmm.
So please, I don't want to hear it. Just know and just wait for the blessings to arrive. And I've always loved that. And the other thing my mother would say that is, when God is involved, everything will be effortless.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do much, just a little, and he'll do the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And I think worry occurs when we all, as human beings, go to the side of, what if, just maybe. I think we stay in that place of knowing that I'm covered.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
It'll be fine, because I'm not in charge.
Yeah.
I didn't wake myself up. I didn't put the stars in the moon in the sky. I didn't do all that stuff. I just woke up.
Yeah.
So who gave me breath? It wasn't me. It was given unto me. So then I think, well, how do I use my breath to be a nidus of change to make the world better,
mm-hmm.
and to do it authentically,
mm-hmm.
whereby I can look at myself in the mirror every day or go to sleep knowing that I did the right thing, that I was loving, I was forgiving, that I treated the waiter properly. I was at dinner the other day. I would share this with you with someone, and we were having a great conversation, and all of a sudden the waiter did something that was kind of, well, he dropped something. It was not bad. He dropped something. So she got really upset. And I said, what's the matter? She says, oh, well, got a dumb waiter, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden the whole dinner just transformed from joy to unhappiness, because she was unhappy with the waiter, and it didn't feel good the way she spoke about him. But it reminds me that I want to go out to dinner with someone who likes having dinner with me, but also treats the waiter properly too.
Yeah.
Because the waiter, I used to be a waiter.
Yeah.
It's a job of service.
Yeah.
The doctor is no better than the dog walker. It's simply a job of service. We all have different gifts, different passions, and whatever we do, it has value.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it's just this whole experience here is just so amazing because you're saying so many things that I always just think the same thing. It's just like, no matter who you are or what you do, it does matter because we all work interchangeably to get to a common goal, you know.
Absolutely.
And so everyone is equally as important with
Absolutely.
that. And going back to what you were saying with that waiter story, sometimes I admit you fail on things and you may get frustrated or upset, but I try to bring myself back and remember I don't know what that person's going through or what's happening in their day.
Right.
And to get upset because of something so minor is really not relevant to anything. It's not going to help anybody.
Not at all.
There's actually, it's kind of the plug a video, but there's a video that I always try to watch on YouTube when I need to remind myself of those things. It's called This Is Water, and it's amazing video. If you ever want to go watch it, it's got some goldfish at the very beginning, and it's a commencement speech at a university.
Yes.
And in the short of it is just, you have to remind yourself that every single person is going through their own thing.
That's true.
And, you're just a fish in the sea. And if you kind of get clouded by everything else, you'll forget that there's water all around you and that you're in the water yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's called This Is Water?
Yeah, it's totally not even related to our organization, but I love it, so I'm going to plug it.
I'm glad you plugged it because I need to hear it. I'll look at it.
No, yeah, it's definitely good.
Well, tell me this. What's the plan now when the holidays are over? When the holidays are done, what do? You go into a planning session again for this to be a year-round event?
Yeah, so this year we kind of did we had to set a lot of the foundations. So we had to get a storage facility, kind of some of our stock ready to go.
Right.
But this coming year, I would love, after the holidays, kind of everything goes back to normal, to start doing those partnerships with the hospitals you were talking about.
Absolutely.
And getting in, showing our videos and
Right.
letting them know that this is what we can do for your patients as well.
Right.
So hopefully that can happen this year. And then next Christmas, we would have events at multiple places.
Absolutely.
So that would be the goal for this year. And ultimately, the ultimate goal would be that we wouldn't even be needed anymore. That this would no longer be a nonprofit and we would shut our doors because that would mean no one is going through any of these tragedies in life. But until that day, we'll continue to bring the hope to the people that need it.
Well, you're doing a great job. I mean, I thank God for you, and I hope you continue to have the strength and the passion to do what you're doing because it is making a change. It is helping people's lives. And I think when we touch other people in that loving way, we touch ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
As I give you hope, I give myself hope.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you continue to do this, just get ready.
Mm-hmm.
There's more coming. And you got a whole team here, myself and Janet. You call us, anything we can do to help raise funds, anything, we will do it.
Awesome.
We will be there to make a difference. And I'll let Janet, we'll send you a check. I'll give $1,000 to for Wish Upon a Toy. Also, I'll give you that, and hopefully that'll have some impact.
Oh my gosh,
give
that'll be
something
tremendous.
to kids.
Yeah, we're still so small that we don't have major donors like that. We don't have people donating.
I don't know if that's major now. It's something by the grace of God, but it's not major.
Tremendous for us, and thank you very much. That's very
very much so. Looking forward to doing it. And I just want to remind everyone to really reach out to Wish Upon a Toy, and if you really want an extraordinary speaker, someone who can really just touch your heart, Ryan Russek is the one who can do it. I mean, he and his wonderful, beautiful wife were here this morning, and I'm really grateful that our show is really about changing the consciousness of humanity, really, and to remind us that it is in giving that we get to be better human beings. It is that in giving unconditionally that we're reminded that the world is not really about us. The world is about what we can give to help the lives of other people to be better. It's really that. So I hope your Thanksgiving is filled with love and joy and peace, and be mindful of what you eat, because again, you are what you eat, drink, and smoke. So no smoking, minimal drinking, and be aware of what you're eating, because our bodies reflect what we do to them. So be aware and love your body, appreciate your body. You only get one. And remember, you take you wherever you go. So I want to really thank Ryan Russek, and I want to thank his organization, of course, Wish Upon a Toy. I want to ask you to go to their website. What's the website again, Ryan?
It is www.wishuponatoy.com. You can see everything that you need there. Our future events. You can donate online via PayPal. It's really simple and seamless there.
Awesome. So please join Ryan at the events, and I want to thank him for being a part of our show. This is Dr. Levi with your show, the Dr. Levi Show, and I want to tell you again, happy holidays, have a great Thanksgiving, and of course, we'll be back in 1 week. So stay healthy and stay fit. Be kind to the veterans. Remember that. This is Dr. Levi. Bye.